Right, okay. So, in the meantime, we do see the initial picks coming through. The first two picks on TTFU side going to be Thresh and Lee Sin, respectively. Fairly common, nothing particularly new being seen here. However, on the side of Furious 5, we do see the common Jarvan jungle along with an Alistar support from Death Joke. So, Death Joke, pretty much, I think I remember his Alistar rather well, and it is kind of a comfort champ to him. So it's good to see that. I mean, we can kind of expect to see some fairly decent plays coming in from him, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, probably Alistar is a good pick against the Thresh because Thresh is going to go tank, and as we know, Alistar's ultimate, he can reduce that damage, 70% damage, and he can tank more than the Thresh, I guess, late game if he goes tank on his build too.
And also on the side of Furious 5, we do see a Riven top lane. Kind of the first time we almost never see Riven being played in that team rank scenario because of her ability to not quite able to synergize the rest of the team. In solo queue, she's very much common because of her innate power and the fact that you can kind of prey on enemies not coordinating well to kind of get your catches, get that kills, and get that snowball. However, team ranks, you normally see people shying away from the Riven because of how easily she can be shut down with the right amount of coordination. So either this is a huge pick of confidence from Yellow Flash coming here, or I'm not quite sure. He just wanted to play what he likes, I guess.
Yeah, indeed. So we have Caitlyn and Syndra coming in from the purple team. Caitlyn having a high range from level 1. But Tristana won't be having that early game, as we all know that Tristana doesn't have an early game. But late game, she can do a lot of damage. She has that reset on a W, which can help her. And we have the Quinn coming in again from Captain Awesome. He went in Quinn top, and even this game he's going Quinn top. And I guess Quinn is a really nice counter to that Riven.
Yeah.
because I personally have been playing Quinn top, and I can tell you that she can wreck the Riven.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
well, we just got to see if
Riven.
Captain Awesome plays to your theory and actually ends up trying to deal with the Riven rate rather well. Also, I think it's worth mentioning that God Must Be Crazy did insta-lock the Syndra. So I think he was pretty much so comfortable with the Syndra that he did not keep one of two things. Either he thought the Riven was mid, or he's just generally comfortable on Syndra. Pretty much like how I myself would probably be comfortable on Orianna and would rather pick her into anything in the world because I've just had that much practice. So yeah.
Yeah, Syndra is kind of a safe pick, you can say. She has a lot of outrange poke. And Fizz being a melee champ, I guess in the early laning phase, Fizz is going to have a bit of a problem.
However, the matchup in itself is actually a huge test of skill for both players because on the side of Syndra, you're always trying to play on his position and try to land the right poke. And on the side of Fizz, Fizz has the ability, like his Trickster has the innate ability to just kind of negate Syndra's all-in damage as we go past level 6.
Indeed.
So it literally comes down to both the players' skills and who ends up predicting whose skill is better. Because on the side of Fizz, you always see that, okay, Syndra has a ball right now. She might probably knock it back and try to hit me and try to ult me with it. I should try and find a way to either dodge the knockup or prepare for the aftermath, which is trying to trickster the ult. So it's a lot of decisions, a lot of thinking that goes into both of these players in playing their champions out. So it'll be an interesting lane. Because Syndra can win, but at the same time, Fizz can also win. Both having to do what it takes to do.
We see Riven switching from the teleport to an ignite, so I guess she's planning to go on an all aggressive lane with the Quinn.
Yes, indeed. I mean, it's kind of my own theory is the fact that it doesn't really matter whether people pick ignite or teleport on a Riven because both just pretty much you're basically pulling out different play styles in top lane in choosing one or the other. When it's ignite, you're just you're just solely thinking of the enemy laner alone and how best you can wreck him and how best you can kind of snowball off of multiple amounts of kills. And there's also the one possibility of the exercise that 87 gamer on that job and might expect to camp him, might expect to camp top lane since the Riven has ignite and more kill potential. onto that Quinn at the top lane. However, we do see that this isn't quite the case because the Quinn does have barrier, who chose a defensive spell to kind of negate the early aggression and the early poke that a Riven can kind of see. So the windows of opportunity kind of diminishing for the Riven. And it'll be interesting to see how Yellow Flash looks
Indeed.
through.
So what do you think? What's gonna happen during the team fights? Like, who do you think has a greater chance of winning the team fights?
Right. Gauging on the side of Furious 5, they actually have a mix of a lot of things. First being good catch potential, given that they have a Fizz and they have an Alistair who can pretty much flash into headbutt into a pulverize, who can kind of catch people off catch any stragglers or any people who are just kind of not with their team and kind of going into unsafe regions. They can probably bait them out and find ways to catch them in a little bit. But however, the other picks, the Tristana, the Jarvan, and all that, pretty much having a mix of catch and AoE. It's not. I mean, you're not having one particular thing on both ends. However, on the side of TTFU, we do see the Thresh and the Lee Sin with both with having great catching abilities. Same goes for Syndra and Quinn. So you pretty much want I'm sure TTFU will pretty much be looking for single target kills where they just see this one target and try to land all of the CC and with the right amount of coordination can pretty much exterminate them because you have the killing power of a Quinn, you have the all-in potential of a Syndra, and you have a Lee Sin who can pretty much kick the particular target back to you depending on who it can be. So it's hard to see who will play fights better because you have two teams both wanting the same thing.
Indeed, indeed. It seems more like a skill-based game. This game is going to be interesting, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be very curious. However, who do you think will come out on top in the level 1?
I
Looking
guess
at the
level
CC
1
both.
potential, I guess we have a Thresh hook, which can be a... It depends on what they level up on the first level. But
Yeah.
looking at the CC, I guess the blue team has a better chance because they have a Riven, they have a Alistar. So blue team would have a better level 1 if someone's invading.
Yes, but again, if you look at the blue team side, you don't have damage following up on the knockup. You don't have a Syndra Q on the side of the red team for that extra bit of damage. You don't have the blinding assault from the Quinn on the side of the blue team. So even though you would probably go in and pulverize as many amount of people as possible, you will kind of be lacking in the damage on your own. So if Furious 5 do go in for the invade, which doesn't look like it. I think they're probably reading this well. They realize that they don't have the follow-up damage in order to go for just a single Riven Q in a Riven knock-up into an Alistar's. So they're kind of falling back and defending, while the red side appears to be doing the same. So standard openings coming out from both sides. This is kind of fine. Both teams just want to play it safe. They just can't see who wins the level 1, I guess, which is understandable. Because you are in the game, you are present there, and there's other things to think about beyond the level 1, I guess. So, yeah, pretty dry early game.
Yeah, so when we see onto the level 1 warding, we see a lot of wards coming in from the purple team, but no wards coming in from the blue team. And they aren't even putting any defensive wards. Like Riven just put a ward on the river right now. But that's it. The red team has
a good job there.
The purple team has a lot of information about the whereabouts of the blue team, but not the blue. But the blue team is totally unaware of which path they're going to start.
Yeah, actually, the whole time I was just thinking, what if the red team could just enter right into their red and just steal it from under their noses, considering they don't have wards there. I guess they didn't spread out enough into their into their aggressive warding in order to recognize where who go. But yeah.
So we are in the bot lane right now, and if you see the bot, there's not much gonna happen right now. It's gonna be just a little bit.
Ought to.
Yeah, they're just gonna CS.
considering it is a Caitlyn versus a Tristana, there ought to be a lot happening from level 1. The Caitlyn should be giving, oh my god, that is a very low health Riven. A very bad trade being picked.
Yeah, I was just telling
Riven.
you that Queen, if she's a good Queen, she can totally wreck that Riven in the lane.
Yeah, looks like from the get-go, she seems to be doing such amounts of aggression, which would eventually pile up and would eventually lead to trouble for Riven. Again, like I said, Jarvan might expect, Riven might expect Jarvan to shadow him and kind of camp him in. Then all it, will we see a kill? No, not quite. Just a flash punch.
A flash and a barrier.
So, yep. So both summoners well being burnt, and wow, that is really good aggression by Syndra. Again, the skill matchup here only starts from once Fizz starts getting his title / Trickster, and the match goes post level 6. So basically, who kills who and who dodges whose stuff is how a Syndra versus Fizz lane will go. Currently, Syndra is winning the early game, and wow, there is 2 very low top laners. Top lane seems to be full of action. I'm not quite sure why the camera's going to the bot lane right now.
Yeah, the jungler should probably go to the top lane right now. They might end up getting a kill.
They're both on the bottom side, and Craft appearing looks like Craft is rather going to use the method of counter jungling and try to gank. Probably try to gank bot lane from under their noses. He does ping an MIA call. Might expect the jungler to be there. So not quite sure what he's up to. He did not take a single camp while counter jungling. But yes, that's there. And Yellow Flash looks like he did not back. He's gonna go for a late recall. Not quite sure what his plan is with that. But we'll see. We have to see if it works for him or against him, because it's obvious right now that Captain Osamek is gonna go to his lane first. But oh well, that will be a all-in spot going on to that bot lane, which the hook lands. Will they be able to get a kill? If Caitlyn does get a kill, it'll be very, very, very useful for her, and that will be the first blood.
Alistar getting the kill instead of Tristana, but that's a kill secure.
It's one thing. Yes, it is always called a kill secure, as is the norm when supposed to take kills. But it was kind of important for him to do it, because sometimes as a support or as anybody, when you have your flash up and when a teammate of yours is near dying, if you are in flash range, you can kind of disrupt your, like, how do I put this? When you attack, when you right click an enemy, you could kind of flash into where you think his cursor would probably be, in order to kind of disrupt his flow, disrupt his auto attack, and pretty much buy your AD carry time to put an extra auto. So that was what that choke was going for. It may look like a kind of half-decent flash to just try and auto the Caitlyn down, but it's actually something that players do innately without even realizing, is that you're actually changing his targeting. You're actually kind of distracting him for a moment by putting yourself in the spotlight, which is what the Alistar did, and it ended up working well for him.
Indeed. So we had a Jarvan trying for a gank in the mid lane. He put in some Harris to the Syndra, but not much coming out of it.
Yeah, so he couldn't get in close enough, it would seem, for the EQ to properly land and knock up. And on the other hand, Senpai also could not follow through.
Yeah, he did not follow up.
One thing to gank, and the other thing to follow through to the gank. And right now, I think he's just looking to survive lane. He knows the kill potential of a Fizz, and he knows that it's okay if I fall behind, I will still match in damage against that Syndra. But again, this bloodlust can actually be fed on by enemy mid laners, that even when they do end up killing you in the early game, they realize that, okay, fine, maybe you think you're so safe all through the game that I might end up killing you more and more, and actually kind of snowball off of this. So you have to see, God must be crazy, kind of see the monkey game being played by Senpai here, and that will be another gang spotted, but that will be a straight all-in coming in. That's some tremendous damage onto Jarvan the 4th, and Lee Sin not quite puts a pink ward, I'm not quite sure what for, and wow, that was, I'm not quite sure what he's thinking about that, and that will be the level 6 all-in from the Fizz, but no, he actually puts a flawed auto attack, and God must be crazy, will live. Wow, Senpai, what were you thinking? I mean, okay, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't call him by name here, but still.
That was indeed a bad play by the Lee Sin over there, and then, I don't know, I guess Fizz was getting too greedy.
That was a comedy of errors.
Yeah,
really?
he was getting too greedy. He just wanted that kill right there, but he I guess he forgot that the tower is there. He shouldn't go in so much.
He didn't take into consideration Fizz's own cooldowns, first of all, because it's just one of the pivotal things when you do when ganking a lane is that, okay, he used this, he will not be able to use this for the next X seconds, which he didn't kind of consider an exercise and instead ended up getting turned around. And actually, the Fizz had some really good options. He actually, if you noticed, after the kill on Lee Sin, once he got his ultimate to try to gap close, he hit a minion on the way, which kind of broke his pace and actually bought enough time for Syndra to get into tower range, which he couldn't see. So if he had the tenacity to realize that, yes, I will go into tower range and I will probably die if I all in the Syndra right now, he would have actually survived by just disengaging in the first place, but he just couldn't see it.
Yeah,
So it takes kind of, it's probably the Fizz syndrome where when you ult a target and it actually hits, you're kind of enticed to go all in. You just would rather all in and try to go for someone. So yeah, and
so
bot lane kind of going wrong, really, because as a Caitlyn in the Tristana, you want to dominate the Tristana in the early game and kind of push her back, but probably Thresh isn't providing enough cover and Thresh is not providing the security that she needs to CS and harass. Probably it is possible that he is too threatened by the enemy Alistar to do so, so shows death jokes Alistar.
Alistar has been doing some really nice EQ combos. And that's a good Alistar, I should say. He's landing his EQs at the right time, at the right moment.
He is a good Alistar, and this is kind of shown how he's managed to keep Tristana safe, and he managed to keep Holy Gunners safe, and he also managed to get some good aggression going in the process because
he's zoning them out. He's zoning them out. Tristana is able to farm easily. She's like 20 CS ahead of that Caitlyn.
And kind of a redundant what placement place with Syndra over there. However, 87 Gamer did happen to be walking upon that brush, I could say. So it did end up working well for Bottom Street Crazy. 87 Gamer really eyeing the mid lane over the top lane. What do you think of this decision, really?
I'm not much sure about why they made such a decision.
However, like, we did see a blood in the top lane. If Riven did get the kill, then he should actually be having a fairly easier time because he could have managed to get that one power spec item to try and chase the Quinn out. But once he saw that it didn't work out, I guess he didn't communicate with 87 Gamer. And
we have another all-in coming in the bot lane right now.
Tower shots going through, but will not be anything. That's why people pick Alistar, I think. You can just ult and you can... Once you hit 6, just ult in and tank the tower for days while your AD carry happily gets to work killing the enemy. So that's kind of what we're seeing. And this is also evident in the CS difference. If you see from between the Tristana and the Caitlyn, 88 to 56. And that will be another. That is exactly what I'm talking about. The tenacity for the Fizz to just realize that, yes, my Trickster can kind of tank the Syndra ultimate, sorry. And this is where the skill comes in. Can the Syndra really seek the opportunity to bait the Fizz Trickster out so that her own ult can hit successfely? And that was an example of her misjudging it right there.
Yeah, indeed. So we have that Riven over there. Okay, he's not gonna ward it. I guess he can safely back out from there. I guess this Javelin is gonna go down.
All-in. Not quite sure why Syndra didn't follow up, but...
Yeah, and that Lee Sin smiting of the Javelin.
Yep. Style points. Seriously. Nothing else.
Yeah, swag points.
Yep. So, I'm not quite sure how this bot lane has been managing to stay quiet, but the quieter bot lane gets, the more favorable it becomes for the blue team because of the scaling of a Tristana and the general tankiness of an Alistar. So it looks like Caitlyn and Thresh have not been able to make ends meet and get that successful early game they wanted. However, Lee Sin by himself is kind of doing right to kind of camp the Syndra and try to shut down the Fizz as much as possible so he gets his power spike as late as possible. And again, I feel like the red team should pretty much be looking to end this game early, given the general innate scaling of the blue team late game.
Yeah, so, we'll be having 2 late gamers. We'll be having Riven and Tristana in the blue team. And even Fizz doing a lot of damage too.
Wow. Quinn pretty much making life hell for the Riven in the top lane. And they just get the tower right now, and another being flaming thrown in. I'm not quite sure whether they'll go for it. They are wise, very wise move by Krupp to just back off, because the Caitlyn is low and it's such an easy turnaround for an Alistar and just trying to just go right on the Caitlyn and just get the reset and kill her. So
we have both the
pretty
junglers on the
standard
bot
business.
lane right now. I guess they would be trying in for some engaging and getting some kills.
Both have spotted the other, and Krupp's trying to walk up and down. Not quite sure what he has in mind. Does look like he is gonna go to the mid lane, or actually no, he's trying to bait 87 Gamer into that small brush. And what is happening right now? He did kind of go in the red buff. Doing fair amount of work. Did end up winning the trade for Krupp, but it'll only chase him off, not quite too much else.
Yeah,
So
indeed.
the bot lane, I'm actually kind of surprised Death Joke didn't bother kind of helping his Jarvan out when that happened. In fact, Jarvan could have pretty much baited the engage out, because it was obvious that the blue team would get to them before the red team could follow up.
Yeah, they would have easily gotten the kill on the Lee Sin. They could have even, Lee Sin not being there, they could have gone for the dragon directly from there.
Yep, we'd have actually seen. I'm actually kind of wondering how no team has taken a single dragon yet by
it's been
getting
40
that
minutes.
snowball up on bot lane. So we have two top lanes that are worth camping for the junglers. We have two mid laners that are also worth camping for the junglers. But really, the lane that has been needing the most attention on the red team right now is that bot lane. Yeah, we have to get to that. And wow, we will see another huge all-in coming in from this thing. Flash is going in. We're not quite sure if that thing will kill. Wow, yes, it will. His W was on cooldown, and that will be another flash engage from the Quinn to finish off the Riven and kill her in return. A good barrier to tank up the Fizz ultimate, but will he end up killing
Oh,
it?
we
No.
might see. Her passive is really broken right there. You saw how she E'd back, that E got her the passive, and her passive has a 4-second cooldown. So after those 4 seconds, she again got a passive up, which does triple the damage of her AD.
Passive was broken, but so is Fizz, because she actually had more health. And a simple Urchin Strike into an auto attack was enough to kill her from that Fizz. So really, we're just seeing this match is soon gonna turn out into who gets the bigger snowball.
Yeah, that was actually just too lucky for the Quinn, because if she hadn't got that passive up, she would have died and not get the kill on the Fizz.
Actually, she'd have died. Yeah, she'd have immediately died to Fizz, and actually it would have been a fair trade. It would have seemed like a complete win for the Fizz. But really, with that roam, he did lose the tower. And because he ended up dying, he wasn't able to push the lane back in time and get some aggression rolling in with his own jungler. So I'm not quite sure what the plan is right now, because your lane is pushed and you're a Fizz, and ordinarily you try to get a roam, but where will you go? Bot lane is fairly safe. Caitlyn Thresh is a fairly safe lane. Top lane is a Quinn who is fairly fed, and they will fight back. So I think the Fizz should right now try and coordinate with either laner, or pretty much just tag along with the jungler, going all over the place, trying to establish wards, I'd say. Because you're a Fizz, you're always expecting to catch off. You're not the type to just stay in lane and shove the wave and try to control where the minions go. And that's pretty much what Syndra is, if anything. And it looks like God was really thinking just that, looking at the minions, trying to see where we need to be. And this looks to be a simple group up for the dragon, a completely out-rotated maneuver. I guess I'm not quite sure where they got the information that Lee Sin is in the top lane from, but simply the Quinn showing up in the top lane was enough incentive for Furious 5 to just go up and take dragon. What a rotation.
Indeed. So right now, the blue team getting the easy dragon, even though the red team had warded and Quinn was on the top lane. I guess Quinn should push hard a little and get the turret so that they can equally trade off. But the problem is right now, after the new dragon, you know the 5 dragons, they are much better than the Baron buff, I should say. Getting those dragons is very important now.
And
we might just
see
have
a huge
right
stuff
now.
going on in that bot lane. Syndra did try and throw him off, but no, not enough to kill the job, and kind of poorly coordinated there by both the Lee Sin and the Syndra. He made an early kick onto 87 Gamer, believing that the Syndra would finish it off, but did not consider the possibility that Syndra may not have had enough of Dark Spheres on the field for an ultimate to be potent, and that would just be a safe recall for the 87 Gamer, no losses on either side.
No, and meanwhile, during that fight in the bottom lane, we did not see, but the Riven got wrecked by the Quinn.
Wow, yeah, I know. I was on the camera the whole time, so I was just seeing Riven kind of health bar just drop rapidly. So I assumed that this is the power spike and the potential of the Quinn top, really. And wow, a near disastrous.
I guess we'll be seeing Thresh going down. No, he lives. Yeah, this is a 3v4 match. I guess the blue team should get out of it. Yeah, they should back off.
Both teams are just trading blows, man. I'm not quite sure. Exactly. I know I did say who is the biggest snowball. This match is going to be a matter of who is the biggest snowball. But right now, we did see that fight in the top lane. So I guess the red team is the biggest snowball right now because the Quinn did manage to keep the Riven in control and not get her too far ahead in rolling. Now it's just a matter of trying to deal with the late game Tristana and her insane amounts of damage and a Fizz in general. So 87 Gamer in that mid lane trying to dodge Corrupt and trying to see what to do next. He did lay some fairly decent amount of damage in that mid lane while nobody was there. Good prediction by him to realize that God was crazy might pretty much still be on his way to lane, and there is no way that he'd be flanked right now unless Lee Sin comes up, and the moment he did, he managed to EQ away. So, a 4-man bot roam coming in from the red team, only to see a completely recalled and safe bot lane on the blue team side. It looks like they're going for a quick bot lane tower hit.
Yeah, it's going to be easy tower for them. They should get it. But we see Jarvan and Riven coming in.
Kind of wondering why Senpai, the Fizz, hasn't roamed bot right now. He did kind of stay back to kind of shove the lane, which is not what you want to do, especially when you spotted the blue team. I mean, you spotted the enemy team in a different lane. Instead, you're just supposed to just drop everything to just fight and deal with the tower pushes. And I feel like the blue team should have completely stopped that. Given their CC, given the things that they can do, they could have very easily stopped that. Now, one could argue that they did not have the watch to see this 4-man bottom coming, but well, I guess they kind of paid the price for that, I guess.
Yeah, indeed.
Shows you the importance of vision in the mid game.
So let's while there's nothing happening interesting much on the lane right now. So if we go on to the CS, the farm difference, I guess Quinn is pretty much dominating the Riven, and we see the Tristana dominating Caitlyn on the bot lane. So let's see if Quinn can get that Tristana. I guess the red team is gonna have a hard time then.
Yes, that's the thing. The flexibility of the Tristana pick is such that even if you do have, like, the reason people just praise Tristana so much and say that she can single-handedly carry games is because of this flexibility that occurs. If she kind of does not do well, she kind of has an even laning phase or a not so great laning phase where she's actually died once early game and is actually getting out CS by the enemy a fair bit. When she hits her scaling, she's at least safe back-end pick with dominating with her range and trying to deal damage to crits as hard as she can. However, the reverse is, and probably when you have other fairly well-fed people on your team, they are there doing their damage and you are laying down some decent damage amount of crits at the backline from the backline as a Tristana. However, there's also the other possibility where right here, where you're seeing a Riven who has fairly been shut down and a Fizz who's only just dealing half-decent damage, not the Fizz that people fear. In this case, it ends up being a battle of peel and how well you can peel for the Tristana. So if we see the red side, we see a Lee Sin who will pretty much be trying to land as many Qs as possible onto Holy Gunners to kind of kick it back into the team. And on the other end, Quinn, whose assassination potential late game with a fair amount of items, while formidable, will be hard to reach because, firstly, because of the presence of an Alistar, and secondly, the presence of a Jarvan who can just stop them all in place with one good Cataclysm.
So is the purple team planning for a Baron or something?
Yeah, it does look like. I mean, they want to kind of siege out lane. They want to kind of push out, but they don't quite have enough ward coverage around the enemy jungle.
Oh,
that
was a really nice.
And that is an even better pulverize, mind you. And this will be an all-in right onto the Syndra. Right onto the Syndra.
Coming in great.
A late trickster from Fizz. Oh wow, this cat of the week doing really good work to kind of deal with the Fizz right there, and Captain Awesome barely managing to live after a huge tussle with Yellow Flash.
Yeah, so the red team is probably going to lose the dragon.
Yep, they will absolutely lose this dragon. Agent of Chaos is not enough as a Caitlyn to steal this.
This will be the second dragon for the blue team.
Yep.
So now they're gonna push the lanes. They should push the lanes.
Good decisions coming in actually from the blue team right now so far in both opportunities, and that was a very careless 90 caliber net. But will they actually? Yes, they will. A very good CC change coming in from the red team to kind of get the Jarvan there, and this will be a 0-for-2 exchange. Wow.
That was actually a good engage from the Jarvan, but it didn't turn out to be so good.
Yeah, they covered up. They helped the red team cover up the Caitlyn's mistake by doing this, and wow, that is totally destroyed there.
Yeah, he just got caught out. He couldn't do anything. He had to die.
Yeah, one of the most common and preached, most rumored, well, not rumored, most preached rule in team rank is don't ward enemy jungle alone, and that's pretty much the reason why people go on saying that when you just have one lone support trying to go around a ward, you're constantly like getting caught, you're constantly facing off. And on this against this particular team comp, you have an Alistar, you have a Riven, you have a Fizz, both who can just completely take advantage and delete you if they get to do the first move, which is exactly what we saw there. The Fizz just happily uses his ultimate, uses Chum the Waters, happily Urchin strikes in and uses the Trickster to just delete you. And there's nothing you can do about it because you didn't bother having somebody else with you.
Yeah, indeed. So right now we have a kind of an equal game going on, even though blue team has made some really nice plays, but the red team is like following up with them. They're trying to cover up their mistakes by actually getting some more kills. Yeah, I think they're still on an equal level. We still don't know who's particularly gonna win because they are equally on the turrets. So let's see.
Given the way the game is right now, I'm actually half expecting blue side to win. Not just because they have a fairly small gold advantage and dragons, but they've just been making such good decisions. Like their engages, Deathjoke's own engages, and 87 Gamers' general fight initiations have just been so on point. They've been dealing with everything. And Yellow Flash, like back at that fight in the mid lane, Yellow Flash has been doing a really good job of just single-handedly going after Captain Awesome and completely making him look puzzled, where he's like, why am I so low? And why is there a Riven with an ultimate right on my face? What is going on here? So they've been kind of doing really well to mesh their CCs and kind of bring their synergies on together. Of course, yes, they are going a little too far. We did see 87 Gamer and
we might see this Fizz going down.
Wow. That is all I can say into that all-in right now.
Yeah, that was an easy kill for the Queen. Like, her damage is really... She's an assassin. She's not a marksman anymore.
So that should pretty much tell you the state of the game right now. Basically, who wards brushes more, literally. because both sides have champions worthy of completely giving you the worst time imaginable if they get to do the first move, and that's it. That was the Queen getting to do the first move, and we saw how it worked around for them in general.
Indeed, but that fish could have like avoided Quinn's ult by using a trickster. But if we see, the Quinn waited for that fish to use his trickster and then go in for the
He didn't
kill.
even have the time. You saw the speed
Yeah.
at which the Queen was able to execute that. Nobody will have the time to do that unless they were wanting to bait it out, in which case you'd need to ward it first and know that the Queen is there, which was impossible. He did not have a
Indeed.
trinket. He did not ward that. He did not see it coming. He has an Oracle lens, for crying out loud. So that doesn't spot God's favor, no, does it? So this will be, oh my god, this is going to be a horrible death. Let's just, yeah, I'm not quite sure what to say. Or not. A very well-timed title dash trickster. I did not see this coming. Fizz actually being able to do well.
And
oh,
actually,
wow,
Fizz is baiting them out. Okay, no, they're gonna back off. Everyone's gonna back off.
Well, not quite, because the blue team did not have any wards in that jungle at that point to see 3 members of the red team mobbing onto their lone Fizz at the bottom.
Yeah, that was a good escape.
It was probably just a call of instinct. They must have been like, just be really careful, Fizz, and that alone must have given him incentive to see the first bit of CC that's coming his way and to title and trickster over the wall and make that flash. So the Thresh, while he did kind of wait, the Thresh also did a good job, by the way, in order to ensure the safety of the red team, because his hook, the fact that he delayed it for a fair bit, actually revealed the Jarvan and the Tristana right close by. So that provided the security for the red team to recognize the threat and get away. So
yeah,
really
if the Thresh
coming in.
Yeah, because the Thresh got the hook, he could have
Yep.
gone in, but it's good that he didn't, because if he would have gone in,
He saw. It helped them see the Jarvan and everybody else. It helped them to recognize that yes, Fizz is not alone. And right now, I'm not quite sure why the red team is going to camp here, because...
And I have a bad feeling about the Caitlyn right now.
And wow, I am not quite sure what's going on right now. Death Choke did go right in, and Caitlyn did get 1v1 by the Fizz, it seems. That'll be a double kill for the Fizz. Will he continue on with this engage? No, they won't. They recognize that they are going too far.
Yeah, they're choosing to push the lanes. They might go in for a dragon right now.
Yeah, again. Look at Queen's position. Look at Fizz's positioning. They're both trying to find that one particular cast. They're trying to find that one sure shot ability to just hit their abilities first before the enemy can react. And that's pretty much the mind game that we're going to have to play. It's pretty much guerrilla warfare being employed for both teams right now. And wow, that is another example of guerrilla warfare where the Queen did not see the Alistar. Nobody particularly saw that.
Yeah, but it was a good escape. They used the J4 ult was useless, I guess.
So entirely, it's up to the supports to shine. The supports to shine with the Lee Sin in there, and that will be a terrible overstay by Hero Flash. He didn't even get the tower. I pretty much expected him to give his life up for the turret, but I guess because they didn't have wards, he couldn't see the entire red team just on his doorstep, besides the Caitlyn, of course.
Indeed. So we have the third dragon for the blue team. They're having a lot of damage, a lot of siege potential. So they should be pushing the lanes right now and getting those turrets really fast, getting the gold, getting the items so that they can dominate the purple team.
If the blue team can get the Baron right anytime soon, anytime within the next 2 minutes, they could pretty much out-rotate and get that and get the top tower in order to get a huge push rolling, which would actually be very helpful for them, considering they have a Tristana and whatnot.
They have a Tristana, they have a Fizz, they have a Riven. So the Riven can push a little bit harder. Even Fizz has a good wave clear.
Right, true, but this match, again, as I said, who is the bigger snowball? This is pretty much a bloodbath that you should be expecting, not standard comps. These aren't conventional team comps. I'll say that right here and right now. These aren't conventional team comps that you'd see ordinarily. If you wanted to see a conventional team comp, it'll have to be the red side picking a Maokai and the blue side top laner picking something of a Jax or something if they wanted heavy siege, along with a Tristana rolling in. So while the very nature of the team comps, we might not see standard sieges, but but on the side of blue team, they're very good with Baron. They're really good with the Baron. Specifically, I'll just literally due to the Tristana and her general range. The safety that you can get from that is just so prized.
Indeed, the Tristana has been farming a lot. She's out CSing that Caitlyn by 100 CS. Almost 100 CS. Okay, I guess we might be seeing some kills.
Again, this is another huge thing.
Warding. They should be warding more.
Yep. They really should be. And right now, this is exactly what I'm saying. They just need Baron right now and do this exact rotation right here. But I guess they're confident enough to take them on right now. Which is actually kind of plausible considering the Vision is level 15. And it doesn't really matter that there is actually fed quit on the enemy side when you have this kind of a team comp, because that, right there, that can happen. That could have very well been the Quinn, guys. Mind you, what happened to that Lee Sin could very well happen to the Quinn as well. So they're just very confident and they're recognizing what their comp can do and they're playing to their strengths right now. Which is what you should do in team rank when you're ahead.
Yeah, the Alistar is just waiting for someone to get caught, to be alone, so that he can do his combo and get them.
Or that can also happen. He can fool the enemy team into catching him, believing that they did a good job, and just pretty much go over the process.
And then he could ult on their faces.
Wow, like, very big hook on
very beautiful hook by the Thresh.
However, are they overcommitting to this? No, not quite. That will be a triple kill going on for God Must Be Crazy. And please don't chase after the Jarvan. There are better things
that Thresh is like he's just want to get that kill. He wants that Jarvan to die today. Oh, but the Jarvan EQs out of it.
You've cost me enough hell, Jarvan. Now just go die. That's what I'm saying. But good. Very good call to go for Baron right now. They can all tank it. They can all just immediately get it away. And this is what you need to do as the enemy team against this kind of a team comp that you know does well by Baron, does well with the Baron buff. This is what you kind of do. You kind of take things away from them. You kind of prevent them and get them out of their comfort zone and play this slight bit of pressure game where you're providing as much discomfort as you can to the enemy. And will they be able to get this? No, they actually give up. They're so squishy and too weak to take it. This is actually kind of a surprise because if they can't take it as 4, their fifth member is a top lane Queen. So literally, they lack the tankiness to take objectives, which is all the more troublesome for them. I did not see this coming. I don't expect this to happen because I thought they just damage into it anyway, but this will be a Baron buff for the blue team, so nothing's changed, gentlemen. They fought exceptionally well, but to no avail right now. Unless they can get a steal. Which isn't happening.
Oh my god, I thought that was a steal coming in, but that was easy that was an easy ban for the blue team. So they're gonna have a little bit problem in the team fights because Quinn is not tanked.
The Tristana alone will just be whittling turrets from under them while both members, the rest of them will just be cannon fodder for the rest of the team. Probably the Riven might probably go up and split push because her dueling potential is unmatched compared to other top laners in this game.
Yeah, indeed.
We'll see what they're up for doing.
Yeah, slowly and gradually the blue team has been going ahead in the score lead. They're lacking behind the kills, but kills don't matter. CS is more important than the kills.
Well, that depends on which lane you're pushing, because when it goes into late game, you don't just want to go to the lane that has the most CS. You're looking to just find out the quickest way to hit the enemy's towers. So,
yeah, indeed.
yeah. That's the kind of game that both teams should be going
Oh, we
for.
have a hook coming in, but
No,
that
man.
just
They
doesn't
need,
want to
they
go
need the
in.
same Trishana hook as they did last time. However, this time it'll be even harder with Baron of minions just assaulting the tower this hard. Well, all 5 members are right here. We yet to see both teams make a move, and Jarvan will be spotted. That will be a recall? No, not quite. That is a cancelled recall. Fizz trying to shove the mid lane. So, what do you think right now? What do you think both teams should be doing? What should the blue team be doing? What should the red team be doing?
The blue team, I think they have the Baron buff. They should initiate for a team fight. They are more tanky. They should go in for a team fight because they don't have any tanky members. The red team, except for the Thresh.
And now for the impossible question: what should the red team do when they see this?
The red team needs to
do that. Oh no!
Holy
Wow.
fuck! Okay, that wasn't expected by the Fizz. I mean, that was a lot of damage.
Oh, good flash engage. It was a good plan at the time, but I can't believe that the trickster.
I guess
so
the Baron buff is helping them. The 4 dragons are helping them.
Yep.
So they have pretty much more dominance over the game because they have got all the objectives of the game that they should be getting in at the right time.
I hope this doesn't affect their morale really, because that was a 7-2 in 3 Quinn that took on a 7-5 in 3 Fizz.
Yeah.
Ordinarily you'd expect the Quinn to be ahead, but that could kind of affect their morale a bit and could kind of.
Yeah, but that was a bad play from the Quinn because she was like in the melee range with a Fizz. So she should have not used her ult first, go in, get some Harris when he's doing his trickster, then use her ult, go out and then come in. So it is just about the skill base.
Big misplay happening from Quinn there, and that will render her unavailable, but it doesn't look like the blue team kind of managed to take advantage. Not that they can, because they're both of their movements are being spotted. The blue team is seeing where the red team is, the red team is seeing where the blue team is. That will be a mixed attempt to delete Agent of Chaos, I must say, because that's how much damage is
doing.
And that will be living. Wow. That will be a two thing.
That's an amazing team fight.
A big wind flash, the Fizz does go for the Thresh, kind of end up killing her, and Captain Awesome again with the fairly bad call will pretty much be killed by that joke alone. No, not quite.
That was a nice play.
Himself.
That was a good play by Quinn. She lived by like what, 10 health?
Yep. And then somehow managed to get back on her feet.
Yeah, that Caitlyn heal helped her to like gain some more health so that she could go on to the Alistar, get the kill. So that was equal.
Play. That was a desperation
play. And the red team actually made a good choice of actually going in for the fight because the blue team had lost their Baron buff. So that was a good time to go in for the fight.
Yep, and Fizz's positioning was also very questionable because although he is a Fizz, the usual way how you play a Fizz is you go in, you deal your damage, and then you come out. He forgot the escape part of the plan that would gently run in with usual Fizzes, and he didn't fall back to his team. If you look at where he died back in that fight, you'd see he died in between those 2 towers, which is really not where you want to be as a Fizz.
Yeah, and if you remember, Fizz used his ultimate in the mid lane, and which was a useless ultimate. So in this team fight, it did not even have his ultimate up.
Yes, it was a missed opportunity to kind of delete Agent of Chaos out of the fight. And if Agent of Chaos, actually, even if it did hit, it would have at most zoned Agent of Chaos out of the fight, which was still huge for the blue team because with the absence of an AD carry and only a Syndra to deal damage, it's really hard to fight a full proper fed team with Baron buff really. And right now, it's hard to tell really what both teams should be going for. Baron
I guess there's this thing the red team can do right now is they should push one lane. I guess top would be a better option because Quinn can push really hard and faster. So what they should do is they should push top lane. They should get a turret because Quinn has a higher potential with a static shift. He can push in the lane really fast. So they should get the lanes. They should get the turrets. That's how they can. That's the only way I guess they can win the game.
Yeah, and wow, that will be a huge all-in coming in. Again, big dives coming in from both teams. It actually didn't work out so well for them last time, and it isn't working out well for them right now. They lose 2 for the price of 1, and really, wow,
3.
that ultimate is huge for them.
Bad miss. That's really bad for the blue team because they tower diving, and which is actually not a good decision.
So really, I can't really say much more other than the fact that the blue team are heavily throwing their big advantage that they created. Because while they are making good choices to fight in the right places, they are overcommitting, they are overextending, and that is literally the only window and the only breathing space that you can give for a team that is that far behind. And right now, Red Team are actually out getting Dragons. They're busy and they're going to get this Baron right from under their noses because 4 members of the blue team are dead. And seriously, they are giving every single incentive for the Red Team to come back and just completely thwart them. This is how you thwart a late game team, guys. You force them into making bad decisions and completely capitalize on them.
But that wasn't expected from the red team making such good plays.
Yep. Now, again, see, you recognize mistakes. You see things happening right in front of you, and you just are always looking for ways to deal with it and completely come out on top of that. And that's what they're doing. They see that, yes, a Jarvan is too far out from the rest of his team. Let's just focus everything onto him while he's still overextended because the team obviously can't follow. To follow up would be to take tower aggro, and you really don't want to risk taking a tower aggro on something that is not a tank. Your Jarvan already came in, your first front line is already out. If Deadchoke goes in and starts tanking the tower himself for the rest of the team, Holy Gunners is completely vulnerable. So you need to see these things. You need to see these opportunities as the blue team and really have a solid plan as to who goes in and who starts tanking, who starts going in, does their job peel. And they're not really answering these questions right now. They're just going right in. Fitz just puts his ultimate and just runs right in.
We might see someone going down right now. Okay, wow. We might see
a brilliant thing, but will this kind of be enough? Yes, it will. The flash 90 caliber net will be enough for the Caitlyn to safely get away from Fizz's wrath, I should say. And this will be a mid in a tower, completely taken down, a mid in hip tower even, given the
what do you think, JDS? Do you think the red team can...
Yeah, absolutely making a comeback. I guess they just pumped up at the fact that they managed to win and are actually barred up and are starting to take Dragons. It kind of gives you that feeling of satisfaction and general joy that yes, finally you kind of claw back at the objectives and kind of get back and have your own power spikes.
I think they're going to go for the GG right now itself. Okay, they flashed in, they're getting a Tristana dead.
Wow.
They're getting the jump. They got out of the team fight. Right, they're focusing on the turrets right now so that they can easily... They're ignoring the J4 and the Alistar. They're totally ignoring them.
Yep. They completely see what they have.
So that's a really nice GG.
What terrible plays by the blue team. 2 consecutive overextended team fights and things just went downhill.
And at the same place. At the same place. They overextended at the same place. The J4 died, but the Fizz died.
They went to hell with those overextends. Like, so initially you just say that it's going downhill, but then they just broke ground and they went into hell from there. Because ever since then, and they lost their minds after that. It's pretty evident they lost their minds after that because they were going in one by one. The Fizz was trying to make final desperate engages onto a team that he knows is stacked up against as 4 people. And that is pretty much the best thing that enemy teams can do against a Fizz. When you're as 4, literally nobody will, obviously no team will kind of be stupid enough to stand around a